Hey everybody. So the longest distance that I have traveled is probably the trip that I took as a 10-year-old kid with my mother and sister from Boise, Idaho to Pennsylvania, flying into Harrisburg so we could go visit the family farm where my mother had grown up. Uh, from that trip, Boise to Harrisburg, we had two stops. One was in Denver, Colorado. The second was in Chicago at O'Hare Airport, and this was the dead of winter. And so winter storms had messed everything up, and we got laid over for like 8 hours. During that time, at some point, I'd gotten bored, and so I started to wander the airport. Back then, we didn't have to worry about our safety as much as maybe kids might have to today. And so I wandered the airport for a couple hours, found myself down in baggage claim area, and I ended up helping countless people. I couldn't even tell you how many. People with their baggage from the carousel out to their cars, cabs, what have you. And I ended up making like 20 bucks or something like that. And I did a quick comparison before I started this video to compare 20 bucks in 1976 to current day, and that would have been a 10-year-old kid making better than 100 bucks just for tinking around in the airport for a couple hours. After that, we left. Finally, we got to leave O'Hare Airport and went to into Pennsylvania to visit the family farm. But I think that was probably my furthest distance that I had traveled. I've made several other pretty decent length trips. Went up to Canada, Calgary, as a kid to play in an international soccer tournament. Traveled down to Lake Powell. As a young adult with a bunch of my buddies, we'd rented a houseboat for a week and cruised around the lake. Been have another friend who lives down in Taos, New Mexico, just north of Taos, New Mexico. I made it down there, and then I have been all over Western U.S. Washington, Oregon, California, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada. I think I got them all. But I think, yeah, the trip from Boise to Harrisburg probably was my longest trip that I've made. I haven't made it off of continent yet. I made it out of country, but not off a continent yet, and I hope that changes someday. But yeah, that's probably the longest distance that I have traveled in my life.